Hi! And welcome to the first lesson of English for Specific Purposes, Level A2. We are your hosts. I am Mr. Carter and
I am Miss Sophie. Today we are going to talk about media, but before that, let's look at our agenda. Our lesson will start with a brief introduction, which will be followed by vocabulary related to media. After that, we will have reading related to social media.
After that, we will have a grammar-based activity related to adjectives, followed by a quick summary, and then a little bit of homework.
გამარჯობა, მე სოფო ვარ, ეს კი მისტერ კარტერია. დღეს ჩვენი პირველი გაკვეთილია და იგი შეეხება მედიას. თუმცა ვიდრე უშუალოდ გაკვეთილზე გადავიდოდეთ, მოდით ერთად გადავხედოთ დღევანდელი ჩვენი დღის გეგმას. ჩვენი დღე დაიწყება მოკლე შესავლით. ამის შემდეგ შევისწავლით ახალ სიტყვებს. მას მოჰყვება ტექსტი სოციალურ მედიაზე, ხოლო შემდეგ კი გვექნება გრამატიკული სავარჯიშოები ზედსართავ სახელებზე. ამის შემდეგ მოკლედ შევაჯამებთ ჩვენს გაკვეთილს და ვისაუბრებთ ყველასათვის საყვარელ საშინაო დავალებაზე. Let's get started.
Let's begin.
Carter, do you use social media?
Well, I use social media sometimes.
Sometimes?
Well, actually, I use social media every day.
Which one is your favorite?
I prefer Facebook.
Well, I like LinkedIn. Why do you like Facebook?
Because it allows me to stay in touch with old contacts. And Miss Sophie, why do you prefer LinkedIn?
I think LinkedIn gives good opportunity to build some business connections.
That's interesting.
It is.
Now, let's move on to vocabulary.
როგორც კარტერმა თქვა, გაკვეთილის ამ ნაწილში შევისწავლით ახალ სიტყვებს.
Our first word is print media, and it is a noun. Miss Sophie, can you tell us what print media is in Georgian?
Sure. Media actually sounds pretty much the same in Georgian. Media. Print media together means ბეჭდური media.
Print media is a way of referring to newspapers and magazines. So any sort of media that is printed is print media.
Print media, ბეჭდური media. Print media, ბეჭდური media. Let's try it one more time. Print media, ბეჭდური media. Our next word is broadcast. Broadcast is a verb, and in Georgian it means მაუწყებლობა.
Broadcast means to send out a program on television or radio. So anytime you watch a news program, a sports game, or even your favorite cereal, that is part of a broadcast.
Broadcast, მაუწყებლობა. Broadcast, მაუწყებლობა. One more time. Broadcast, მაუწყებლობა.
Our next word is article, and it is a noun. Miss Sophie, can you give the definition of article in Georgian and in English?
Article in Georgian is statia, and it is a piece of writing on a particular subject in a newspaper or magazine.
So, anytime you read something related to news, it is most likely an article.
Article, statia. Article, statia.
Article,
statia. Our next word is headline. Headline is noun and it means სათაური.
A headline is a line of words printed in large letters as the title of a story.
Headline, სათაური. Headline, სათაური. Headline, სათაური. Our next and the last word in this set of vocabulary is reporter. Reporter is noun, and in Georgian it means კორესპონდენტი.
A reporter is a person whose job it is to describe news events for newspapers, magazines, television, and even radio.
reporter, კორესპონდენტი. reporter, კორესპონდენტი. reporter, კორესპონდენტი.
Now, let's move on to our vocabulary activity, in which we will match the words we just learned with their definitions.
ახლა კი დროა შევამოწმოთ თუ რამდენად კარგად დაიმახსოვრეთ ახალი სიტყვები. ეკრანზე მოცემულია განმარტებები. მათ სწორად უნდა შევუსაბამოთ მოცემული სიტყვები. Our first line is a person whose job is to discover information about news events and describe them for a newspaper or magazine or for a radio or television. What do you think is the answer for this one?
Miss Sophie, may I give them a hint?
Yes, Carter, you can.
So, the definition says a person whose job is to discover information. Well, print media and broadcast are not people, and article and headline are not people, so it must be reporter.
You are absolutely right, Mr. Carter. It is a reporter.
Our next definition is a piece of writing on a particular subject in a newspaper or magazine.
Well, Mr. Carter, I see here it's a piece of writing. Piece of writing which is related to newspaper or magazine. Mr. Carter, I don't think it's a broadcast because broadcast is a verb and we do not need verb here. Print media cannot be the answer either because print media refers to newspapers and magazines in general. Headline, I think you said that it's large letters right in the beginning of the article. So I think the right answer is article.
Very good, Miss Sophie. Our next sentence is a line of words printed in large letters as the title of a story in a newspaper.
I think the answer for this one is quite obvious. We mentioned so many times that a line of words printed in large letters is
a headline.
Our next sentence is a way of referring to newspapers and magazines. Mr. Carter, which part of speech we need here, noun or verb?
Well, since we're relating to newspapers and magazines, we need a noun. And only one of our words is a noun. Which one is it, Miss Sophie?
I think it's print media.
I think you are right.
And our very last sentence is to send out a program on television or radio. Mr. Carter, I think the answer is quite obvious.
It is obvious. It is broadcast. Broadcast is the only verb in our vocabulary. Now, let's move on to our second set of vocabulary related to the reading.
ახლა კი მოდით ერთად შევხედოთ ახალ სიტყვებს, რომელიც უშუალოდ ტექსტიდან არის ამოკრეფილი. ეს სიტყვები დაგვეხმარება უკეთ გავიაზროთ ტექსტი. Our first word is interact. Interact is a verb and in Georgian it means ვინმესთან ურთიერთობა.
Interact in English means to communicate with someone. So, anytime you talk to someone, chat online, or just spend time with someone, you are interacting.
Interact, ვინმესთან ურთიერთობა. Interact, ვინმესთან ურთიერთობა. Let's try it one more time. Interact, ვინმესთან ურთიერთობა.
Our next word is networking, and it is a noun.
Networking is a very important word, and in Georgian it means კონტაქტების დამყარება.
Networking is the activity of trying to meet people who might be useful to know in business.
So, Mr. Carter, when I said that I like LinkedIn because it helps me build good connections, I was actually doing networking.
You were, Miss Sophie.
Great. Our next word is essential. Essential is adjective. Mr. Carter, what does it mean in English?
Essential has a very simple definition. It means very important or necessary. So anything that you think is very important to your life, that is essential.
Essential, არსებითი, მნიშვნელოვანი. Essential, არსებითი, მნიშვნელოვანი. Essential, არსებითი, მნიშვნელოვანი.
Our next word is workplace, and it is a noun.
Workplace in Georgian means სამუშაო სივრცე.
Workplace in English means a place where you do your work. Now, this can be a large office building or a small shop or store.
Mr. Carter, where is your workplace?
Well, Miss Sophie, my workplace is right here, but I do most of my work from home.
So, home can be your workplace?
Yes, Miss Sophie, it can. If you work from home, your home is your workplace.
Great.
Our next word is entertainment, and it is a noun.
Entertainment in Georgian means სანახაობა ან გართობა.
Entertainment in English is public shows or performances or any other kind of activity that allows you to enjoy yourself. Miss Sophie, what kind of entertainment is your favorite?
Well, I like going to movies.
I think going to the movies is the best form of entertainment.
Our next word is encourage. Encourage is verb and it means წახალისება.
Encourage in English means to give support, hope, or confidence to someone. Miss Sophie, who do you think encourages you the most?
I think my parents encourage me a lot all the time to do things that I like the most.
That is great encouragement.
Encourage, წახალისება. Encourage, წახალისება. Encourage, წახალისება. Our next and the very last word is opportunity. Opportunity is a noun and in Georgian it means შესაძლებლობა.
Opportunity means an occasion or situation that makes it possible to do something that you want or have to do.
Mr. Carter, can we say that social networks give us a lot of new opportunities?
We can definitely say that, Miss Sophie. That is a great example.
ახლა კი როგორც კარტერმა თქვა, გაკვეთილის ამ ნაწილში წავიკითხავთ ტექსტს სოციალური მედიის შესახებ. Carter, did you know that social media can help you find a job or sell a business idea?
I did not. Miss Sophie, can you tell me more?
Sure. Social networks like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn can help you find a job, build useful contacts, and promote your business. In fact, social media is essential in the modern workplace.
Miss Sophie, are there any things I need to be aware of about social media?
Unfortunately, there are. You need to remember that unsuitable posts could also damage your reputation. I remember you said something about Facebook earlier. Can you tell us a bit more, please?
Definitely, Miss Sophie. So, Facebook is often seen as just entertainment. However, you should know that your comments may be seen by many, many people, like friends of friends of friends. Facebook can be used for networking that will help you in your career. It's not just for finding old high school friends. This is especially true if you run your own business.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Carter. Social media is no longer something that we can ignore. It is not a place to just wish your friends happy birthday. It's a place for business. Probably the best known of the professional networks is LinkedIn. It is important to have a profile on LinkedIn because interviewers often check them.
Twitter is a social media network smaller than Facebook. On Twitter, you can easily interact with people you wouldn't generally meet in life, such as movie stars, famous athletes, or even managers of big companies. On Twitter, you can't say as much, but you can have more influence. Now, let's move on to our reading activity.
როგორც კარტერმა თქვა, ამ სავარჯიშოში ჩვენ შევამოწმებთ თუ რამდენად კარგად გაიგეთ ტექსტი. ეკრანზე მოცემულია წინადადებები. ჩვენ უნდა განვსაზღვროთ ეს წინადადებები შეესაბამება თუ არა ტექსტს. თუ წინადადება შეესაბამება ტექსტს, ამ შემთხვევაში ვამბობთ true. ხოლო თუ წინადადება არ შეესაბამება ტექსტს, ამ შემთხვევაში ვამბობთ false.
Our first question is, you cannot use social networks to find a job.
Well, Mr. Carter, I think this sentence is false because I remember reading in the text that social networks can actually help you build useful contacts and promote your business.
You are very right, Miss Sophie. This is false.
Our next sentence is, social networks are used in business. Mr. Carter, what do you think? Is this sentence true?
I think it is true, Miss Sophie, because social media is no longer something we can ignore, and now it is essential in business. So, yes, this is true.
You are absolutely right. This sentence is true. Our next sentence reads, Facebook is only used to find friends. And the key word here is only.
Right, Miss Sophie. Facebook is used to find friends, but is it only used to find friends? Facebook can be used for networking for your career, so this sentence must be false.
And our next sentence is,
Twitter is the best social network for finding professional contacts.
well, I think, Mr. Carter, this sentence is not very true because I remember you read that LinkedIn is the one that is best known for the professional networks, which makes this sentence false.
Now, let's move on to our grammar activity.
როგორც კარტერმა თქვა, გაკვეთილის ამ ნაწილში ვისაუბრებთ გრამატიკაზე.
Facebook is a popular place to find new contacts.
Carter, I see that popular and new is highlighted. Can you tell us why is that so?
I can, Miss Sophie. Popular is a word that describes place, and new is a word that describes contacts. Place and contacts are nouns. Popular and new are adjectives. Adjectives describe nouns.
გაიგეთ კარტერმა რა თქვა? სიტყვები popular and new, პოპულარული და ახალი, ზედსართავი სახელებია. ისინი აღწერენ არსებით სახელებს place and contacts, ადგილი და კონტაქტები. Popular place, პოპულარული ადგილი, new contacts, ახალი კონტაქტები.
What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that describe nouns, such as enormous, or silly, or interesting, or fun. Let's look at an example. It is very interesting news. Interesting is the adjective, news is the noun. Now, adjectives can come before and after nouns. So pay attention. The news is very interesting. News, noun, interesting, adjective. In this case, the adjective comes after the noun. Adjectives do not modify verbs or other adjectives. They can also describe the quantity of nouns, such as many, few, millions, or 11. 150 million people use social media. 150 million, the adjective, people, the noun. Now, let's move on to our grammar activity.
გაკვეთილის ამ ნაწილში ვივარჯიშებთ გრამატიკაში.
Let's look at our first example. The internet is essential for using social media. First, let's find the adjective. Remember, essential is an adjective. So, what does essential describe? The internet is essential for using social media. The internet is essential. Internet, the noun, essential, the adjective. Number 2, being a reporter is very exciting and difficult. Let's find the adjectives. Being a reporter is very exciting, adjective, and difficult, adjective. So, these words describe reporter. Being a reporter is very exciting and difficult. Let's look at number 3. Social media can give you many positive opportunities. The adjectives are many and positive. Remember, adjectives can describe quantity as well. Many, adjective for quantity, positive, adjective describing opportunities. Now, let's do a quick summary of our lesson.
მოდით, მოკლედ შევაჯამოთ დღევანდელი ჩვენი გაკვეთილი.
First, we went over vocabulary related to media. Our first word was print media.
Print media was in Georgian ბეჭდური მედია.
Our next word was broadcast.
And broadcast in Georgian meant მაუწყებლობა.
Our third word is article.
And article in Georgian is სტატია.
Our fourth word was headline.
Headline in Georgian is სათაური.
And our final word was reporter.
Reporter is კორესპონდენტი. Vocabulary was followed by reading activity. Mr. Carter, I remember we read something about social media.
We did. We read about how social media can help you expand your business, how it's not just for personal things like meeting old friends or wishing happy birthday, and then we talked about LinkedIn and Twitter.
I remember we also talked about Facebook.
We did.
Right. After that, we also had some of the vocabulary items from the text. I remember words essential.
Very good, Miss Sophie. Essential was an adjective.
Essential in Georgian means არსებითი ან მნიშვნელოვანი.
Another word we had was interact.
Interact in Georgian means ვინმესთან ურთიერთობა.
After that, we had networking.
And networking is კონტაქტების დამყარება.
Workplace.
სამუშაო სივრცე,
Entertainment.
სანახაობა ან გართობა,
Encourage.
წახალისება
And finally, opportunity.
და ბოლოს შესაძლებლობა.
After that, we had a grammar activity related to adjectives.
Mr. Carter, I remember you talked about adjectives that they describe nouns. Am I right?
You are right, Miss Sophie.
I also remember you said that adjectives can come before nouns or follow them.
Miss Sophie, you paid attention.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. I think it's time now to move to our homework.
Everyone's favorite part.
როგორც კარტერმა თქვა, ახლა დროა გადავინაცვლოთ ყველასთვის საყვარელ საშინაო დავალებაზე.
For our homework, we want you to write a paragraph describing your favorite social media. Please describe the positive sides and the negative sides.
You can send your homework on the address given on the screen.
We have uploaded a template to help you, but please don't copy it. You can do better than that.
I think this is it for our first lesson.
I think so as well.
Hope to see you next time. Bye!